There's a reason you clicked on this video, not by accident, not because you were bored, not because you had nothing else to watch. Something inside you is tired of feeling stuck, tired of watching other people win while you keep questioning yourself, tired of starting strong and ending weak, tired of knowing you were meant for more, but still living below your potential. And the scary part, most people will stay there forever. They will spend their entire lives making excuses, blaming circumstances, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting for somebody to save them. And one day they'll wake up realizing they wasted years living at half their potential. But you don't have to become one of them. Listen carefully. There are two versions of you fighting inside your mind right now. One version wants comfort, wants sleep, wants excuses, wants the easy life. The other version wants greatness, wants discipline, wants growth, wants to become unstoppable. And whichever version you feed the most will control your future. See, success is not just physical, it's psychological. Before you win in life, you must first win in your mind. Because every day, your brain is either training you to become stronger or training you to stay average. Every excuse weakens your mind. Every disciplined action strengthens it. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, your mind learns hesitation. Every time you push through pain, your mind learns resilience. That's why most people never change. They are addicted to comfort, addicted to distraction, addicted to instant pleasure. They want success, but they don't want the process that creates it. And maybe nobody told you this before, but your future is being built by the things you do repeatedly. Not once, not occasionally, repeatedly. The way you think, the way you react under pressure, the way you handle failure, the way you talk to yourself when nobody else is around. That is what creates your identity. Right now, someone else is working while others are sleeping. Someone else is becoming mentally stronger while others keep complaining. Someone else is building the future they dreamed about while average people waste another day making excuses. The question is, which person are you becoming? Because time does not stop for anyone. Every day you delay your growth, you lose something. You can never get back. Every wasted hour is a piece of your potential disappearing. And deep down, you know it. You know you're capable of more. You know you've been playing small. You know there's another level inside you waiting to be unleashed. That's why this message matters. This is not just another motivational video. This is a wake-up call, a reminder that your current situation does not define your future, a reminder that discipline can rebuild your life, a reminder that small daily improvements can turn an ordinary person into somebody extraordinary, but only if you decide to change. Not next month, not someday, today. So for the next few minutes, forget your excuses. Forget your doubts. Forget the weak mindset that's been holding you back. Because by the end of this video, the person watching right now will not be the same person who started it. This is the beginning of your 1% mindset. Most people believe success comes from one big moment, one massive breakthrough, one lucky opportunity, one perfect day where everything suddenly changes. But real transformation almost never happens like that. The truth is, the people who achieve greatness usually do something very simple. They improve a little every single day. That is the power of small daily improvement. It may not look exciting in the beginning, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. Think about it. If you become just 1% better every day, those improvements start stacking on top of each other. One small habit leads to another. One disciplined action creates momentum. One positive decision changes the direction of your future. Most people ignore small progress because it doesn't create instant results. They want overnight success, but overnight success is usually the result of years of small, invisible victories. A person who reads 10 pages a day may not seem impressive after 1 week, but after 1 year, they have read thousands of pages and gained knowledge that changes the way they think. A person who exercises for 30 minutes every day may not see results immediately, but months later, their energy, confidence, and health are completely different. A person who practices a skill consistently may feel average in the beginning, but eventually they become exceptional because consistency always beats intensity that doesn't last. The problem is that people underestimate the value of small actions. They think if something doesn't create massive results immediately, then it doesn't matter. But life is built on repetition. Your habits shape your future more than your emotions ever will. Every single day you are either building yourself or breaking yourself. Every choice matters, even the ones that seem small. When you choose to wake up earlier instead of wasting time in bed, that matters. When you choose discipline over excuses, that matters. When you choose learning instead of complaining, that matters. These decisions may look tiny in the moment, but over time they create a completely different person. The reason small improvement is so powerful is because it compounds. Just like money grows with compound interest, your habits grow with repetition. Good habits create positive momentum, and bad habits create negative momentum. If you improve slightly every day, eventually you separate yourself from the average crowd. Not because you are more talented, but because you stay consistent long enough for growth to take place. Many people fail because they try to change everything overnight. They create impossible goals, unrealistic routines, and huge expectations. Then when they cannot maintain that energy, they quit completely. But success was never supposed to be about perfection. It was supposed to be about persistence. Small progress is sustainable. It allows you to keep moving forward even on difficult days. There will be days when you feel tired, days when motivation disappears, days when progress feels invisible. But those are the moments that matter most. Anybody can work hard when they feel inspired. Real growth happens when you continue even when you do not feel like it. That is where mental strength is built. The gym teaches this lesson perfectly. Nobody becomes strong after one workout. Strength is built rep after rep, day after day, month after month. The same principle applies to life. Confidence is built through repeated action. Discipline is built through repeated effort. Success is built through repeated consistency. People often compare themselves to others and become discouraged because they only see the final result. They see the successful athlete, entrepreneur, artist, or leader, but they do not see the years of preparation behind that success. They do not see the small improvements that happen quietly every single day. Greatness is never created in one dramatic moment. It is created through patience and repetition. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for motivation before taking action. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you will feel motivated, and other days you will not. If your success depends only on motivation, you will stop the moment things become difficult. Discipline is what keeps you going when emotions change. Small daily improvement depends on commitment, not feelings. Even failure becomes valuable when you focus on improving daily. Failure stops being the end of the story and becomes part of the process. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback gives you experience. Every challenge builds resilience. As long as you keep improving, you are still moving forward. Another important thing about small improvement is that it builds confidence naturally. Confidence does not come from talking about goals. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you stay consistent, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Over time, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits and start seeing yourself as someone who grows. His mindset also removes pressure. Instead of trying to become perfect immediately, you focus only on getting a little better today. That feels possible. Anyone can improve by 1%. Anyone can make one better choice. Anyone can take one step forward. And those small steps eventually create massive transformation. Imagine two people starting at the same point. One chooses comfort every day. The other chooses small improvement every day. At first, the difference between them is almost invisible. But after months and years, the gap becomes enormous. One stayed the same while the other evolved into a stronger, wiser, and more disciplined person. Life rewards consistency more than occasional greatness. Showing up every day matters more than having one perfect moment. The people who win are not always the smartest or most talented. Often they are simply the people who refuse to stop improving. So focus on the small things. Focus on your daily habits. Focus on becoming slightly better than yesterday. Do not get discouraged by slow progress, because slow progress is still progress, is still progress. Keep learning, keep growing, keep moving forward even when results are not immediate. One day you will look back and realize that the small actions you once thought were insignificant completely changed your life. The early mornings, the extra effort, the disciplined decisions, the quiet consistency, all of it added up. And what once seemed like tiny improvements became extraordinary results. That is the true power of small daily improvement. Motivation is powerful, but it is temporary. Discipline is what changes lives. Most people wait until they feel ready before they take action. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect level of energy. But the truth is, if your success depends only on motivation, you will stop the moment life becomes difficult. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Discipline stays. There will be mornings when you do not feel like waking up early. There will be days when your body feels tired, your mind feels weak, and your goals feel far away. In those moments, motivation usually disappears. That is where discipline takes over. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done even when you do not feel like doing it. It is choosing commitment over comfort. Anybody can work hard when they are excited. Anybody can chase goals whenever. Everything feels easy. But real growth happens when you continue despite the struggle. The people who achieve greatness are not always the most talented people in the room. Often they are simply the most disciplined. They keep showing up when others quit. Think about athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or successful leaders. They all have moments when they feel exhausted, frustrated, or discouraged. But discipline keeps them moving forward. They understand that success is not built on emotions. It is built on habits. And habits are formed through repetition, not inspiration. Motivation makes you start, but discipline makes you finish. A motivated person might go to the gym for 1 week. A disciplined person goes for years. A motivated person studies when they feel inspired. A disciplined person studies even when they would rather rest. A motivated person chases goals only when things are exciting. A disciplined person stays focused even during boring and painful moments. This is why discipline matters more. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is a decision. The dangerous thing about depending on motivation is that emotions constantly change. Some days you feel confident. Some days you feel doubtful. Some days you feel unstoppable. Some days you feel weak. If your actions depend on emotions, your progress will always be inconsistent. But discipline creates stability. It allows you to move forward no matter how you feel. Most people want success, but very few people want the lifestyle required to achieve it. They want results without sacrifice. They want confidence without effort. They want growth without discomfort. But discipline requires sacrifice. It requires doing the hard things repeatedly until they become part of your identity. Discipline is saying no to distractions when nobody is watching. Discipline is staying focused when everyone else is wasting time. Discipline is controlling your actions instead of letting your emotions control you. And here is something important. Discipline actually creates freedom. At first, discipline feels restrictive because it forces you to make hard choices. But over time, those choices create opportunities. A disciplined person with money has financial freedom because they learn self-control. A disciplined athlete has physical freedom because they train consistently. A disciplined student has career opportunities. Wise because they stayed committed to learning. Short-term discipline creates long-term rewards. Without discipline, people become slaves to their feelings. If they feel lazy, they stop. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel discouraged, they give up completely. But feelings are temporary. They should not decide your future. One of the greatest lessons in life is learning how to act regardless of mood. You cannot wait until everything feels perfect before taking action. Perfect conditions do not exist. There will always be obstacles, stress, pressure, and uncertainty. Discipline teaches you how to move anyway. The hardest part of discipline is the beginning. In the beginning, everything feels uncomfortable. Waking up early feels painful. Studying feels difficult. Training feels exhausting. Staying consistent feels frustrating because results are slow. But eventually discipline becomes a habit. What once felt impossible starts to feel normal. This is how powerful habits are. The more you repeat disciplined behavior, the easier it becomes. Over time, you stop arguing with yourself. You simply do what needs to be done. Discipline becomes part of who you are. Many people miss out. They're staying disciplined. They think discipline means living without enjoyment or happiness. But real discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. It is choosing actions that align with your future instead of temporary comfort. It is understanding that the life you want requires effort today. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen your mind. Every time you resist excuses, you build character. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you increase your confidence. Discipline changes not only your results, but also your identity. The reason discipline is rare is because comfort is addictive. People naturally choose what feels easy in the moment. Sleeping longer feels easier than waking up early. Watching entertainment feels easier than working on goals. Quitting feels easier than continuing through pain. But easy choices create difficult lives later. Hard choices create stronger lives later. There is also something powerful about discipline that many people ignore. It builds trust in yourself. When you constantly break promises to yourself, your confidence decreases. But when you consistently do what you said you would do, even in small ways, your self-respect grows. You begin to believe in yourself because your actions prove that you are reliable. Discipline also separates dreamers from achievers. Millions of people have goals. Millions of people talk about success. Millions of people say they want a better life. But only a small percentage are disciplined enough to keep working when nobody is encouraging them. That is why discipline is a superpower in today's world. Most people are distracted. Most people are inconsistent. Most people quit too early. A disciplined person instantly gains an advantage because they can stay focused while others lose direction. And the truth is, you do not need extreme discipline overnight. You build it gradually. One small promise kept at a time. One workout completed. 1 hour of focus. One distraction avoided. Discipline grows through practice, just like strength grows through training. The key is to stop relying on feelings and start relying on standards. Create routines. Create structure. Decide who you want to become and act like that person consistently. Even when you are tired. Even when you are stressed. Even when nobody notices your effort. Because eventually the results will come. The discipline. Lying person may not see immediate rewards, but over time, their consistency compounds. Their mind becomes stronger. Their habits become sharper. Their confidence becomes deeper. And while others are waiting for motivation, they are already making progress. At the end of the day, motivation can inspire you for a moment, but discipline can transform your entire life. Motivation might light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. And the people who master discipline become unstoppable because they no longer depend on emotions to take action. They depend on commitment. Your habits are quietly shaping your future every single day, whether you realize it or not. The life you live tomorrow is being created by the choices you make today. Most people think their future is determined by luck, talent, or big opportunities, but in reality, it is often determined by daily routines and repeated behaviors. What you consistently do matters far more than what you occasionally do. Every action you repeat becomes part of your identity. Every habit either builds you or weakens you. The scary thing is that habits feel small while they are happening. Skipping one workout does not seem dangerous. Staying 1 hour does not feel life-changing. Procrastinating for one day does not seem serious. But repeated over months and years, small habits create massive consequences. Good habits create progress slowly. Bad habits destroy progress slowly. And because the changes are gradual, many people do not notice what is happening until years later. Imagine someone who decides to improve themselves a little every day. They read regularly, exercise consistently, stay disciplined with their time, and keep learning new skills. At first, their life may not look very different from everyone else's. But over time, those habits completely transform them. Their mind becomes sharper. Their body becomes stronger. Their confidence grows. Their opportunities increase. Eventually, they become the kind of person others admire. Now imagine someone else who constantly chooses comfort. They waste time every day, avoid discipline, and ignore self-improvement. In the beginning, Their choices may not seem harmful, but slowly those habits shape their mindset, their health, and their future. Years later, the difference between these two people becomes enormous. That is the power of habits. Your future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through repetition. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. This is why successful people protect their habits so carefully. They understand that habits create momentum. Once you develop strong routines, success becomes more natural. You no longer need to rely on motivation every day because your habits guide your actions automatically. A person who has the habit of waking up early does not argue with themselves every morning. A person who has the habit of studying consistently does not constantly wait for inspiration. A disciplined routine removes unnecessary decisions because positive behavior becomes automatic. The opposite is also true. Negative habits create destructive momentum. Laziness becomes easier the more you repeat it. Procrastination becomes stronger the longer you allow it. Complaining becomes a mindset if you practice it daily. Habits grow through repetition, whether they are positive or negative. One of the biggest mistakes people make is focusing only on goals while ignoring habits. Goals are important, but habits are what actually get you there. A goal without disciplined habits is just a wish. You can say, yo, you want success, confidence, money, health, or growth, but if your daily habits do not match those goals, your future will not change. Your actions always reveal your priorities more than your words. If someone says they want to become healthier but constantly ignores exercise and nutrition, their habits are creating a different future. If someone says they want financial freedom but wastes money carelessly every day, their habits are shaping financial struggle. If someone says they want success but spends most of their time distracted, their habits are pulling them away from their goals. Your habits are always voting for the type of person you will become. Every time you choose discipline, you cast a vote for a stronger future. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you reinforce a better identity. Even small actions matter because identity is built through repetition. The beautiful thing about habits is that small improvements can create extraordinary results over time. Reading a few pages daily may seem insignificant, but over years, it builds knowledge that changes your thinking. Saving small amounts of money consistently may not feel exciting, but eventually it creates financial security. Exercising regularly may not produce instant transformation, but over time, it changes your body, energy, and mindset completely. The challenge is that habits often reward you later, not immediately. Bad habits usually feel good now, but create pain later. Good habits often feel difficult now, but create rewards later. That is why so many people struggle. They chase immediate pleasure instead of long-term growth. They choose comfort in the moment without realizing they are sacrificing their future. The person who stays disciplined understands delayed gratification. They understand that short-term sacrifice creates long-term success. They are willing to endure temporary discomfort because they know where it leads. Habits also shape your confidence. Confidence is not created by motivational speeches alone. Real confidence comes from self-trust. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, you begin to trust yourself. Every time you keep your word to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. On the other hand, constantly breaking promises to yourself weakens your self-belief. If you repeatedly quit, delay, or avoid effort, your mind starts believing you or cannot depend on yourself. That is why disciplined habits are so powerful. They strengthen both your character and your confidence. Environment also plays a huge role in habits. The people around you influence your routines more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, laziness, and distraction, those habits become normal to you. But if you surround yourself with focused, disciplined, and growth-minded people, positive habits become easier to maintain. Your environment shapes your standards. This is why successful people protect their time and energy carefully. They understand that repeated exposure creates repeated behavior. What you watch, listen to, and spend time around eventually affects your mindset and actions. Another important truth is that habits do not need to be perfect to change your life. Consistency matters more than perfection. Many people quit because they miss one day or make one mistake. But one bad day does not destroy progress. What matters is returning to the habit again and again. The key is persistence. A person who continues despite setbacks will always outperform someone who depends only on motivation. Building habits is not about being perfect every day. It is about refusing to stop completely. Your future self is being built right now through your routines, decisions, and repeated actions. Every day, you are becoming more like the person your habits are training you to be. If you want a stronger future, create stronger habits. If you want more confidence, practice disciplined behavior. If you want success, build routines that align with success. Stop waiting for life to magically change and start changing your daily actions. Because eventually your habits become your lifestyle becomes your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. Years from now, you will either thank yourself for the habits you built or regret the habits you ignored. The choice is happening every single day, one action at a time. Your habits are not small things. They are the architects of your future. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in life is because they spend too much time making excuses instead of making progress. Excuses are comfortable. They protect the ego. They help people avoid responsibility. But excuses have never built success, created greatness, or changed lives. Progress does. When NERs understand something that average people often ignore, life will never be perfect. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, stress, criticism, pain, and uncertainty. If you wait for the perfect moment before taking action, you will wait forever. That is why winners focus on progress instead of excuses. They understand that moving forward, even slowly, is always better than standing still. Most excuses sound reasonable in the beginning. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. Other people have it easier. But when repeated daily, excuses become a habit. And eventually that habit creates a life filled with regret. Excuses make people feel better temporarily, but they solve nothing. They do not improve skills. They do not build confidence. They do not create opportunities. They only delay growth. Winners think differently. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I do next? Instead of focusing on what they lack, they focus on what they can control. That mindset changes everything. The truth is, every successful person has faced difficulties. Nobody reaches greatness without struggle. Athletes face injuries. Entrepreneurs face failure. Students face pressure. Leaders face criticism. Every path toward success includes pain. The difference is that winners do not allow hardship to become an excuse to quit. When life becomes difficult, average people often stop completely. Winners adapt and continue. They may slow down, they may struggle, they may feel exhausted, but they keep moving. They understand that progress is not always fast or perfect. Sometimes progress is simply refusing to give up. There is something powerful about small progress. Even tiny steps forward create momentum. Reading a few pages is progress. Practicing for 1 hour is progress. Improving one skill is progress. Learning from one mistake is progress. These small actions may not seem impressive immediately, but over time they separate successful people from everyone else. The problem is that people compare their beginning to someone else's finish. They see successful individuals and become discouraged because they are not there yet. Instead of focusing on improving themselves, they focus on complaining about how far they still have to go. But winners understand that success is a process. They focus on becoming better day by day instead of becoming perfect overnight. They celebrate progress because they know growth takes time. Excuses are dangerous because they slowly destroy personal responsibility. When people constantly blame circumstances, luck, or other people, they give away their power. They stop believing they can change their situation. They become trapped in a victim mindset. Winners refuse to live that way. Even when circumstances are unfair, they still focus on what they can control. They cannot control every challenge, but they can control their effort, attitude, discipline, and response. That is real strength. Life will test everyone. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed, moments when your plans fail, moments when nobody supports you, moments when progress feels invisible. Those are the moments that reveal character. Anybody can stay positive when everything is easy. Real growth happens when you continue despite frustration and disappointment. Winners are not people who never struggle. Winners are people who refuse to stop struggling towards something better. Another reason winners focus on progress is because progress builds confidence. Confidence does not come from talking about goals. It comes from taking action. Every time you move forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Even small victories matter because they strengthen belief in yourself. Excuses do the opposite. Every excuse weakens self-trust. Every delayed action creates more doubt. Over time, people stop believing in themselves because they constantly avoid effort. This is why action is so important. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates consistency. And consistency creates results. Winners understand that no amount of thinking can replace doing. You cannot think your way into confidence. You build confidence by acting even when you feel uncertain. Excuses also keep people trapped in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But progress requires courage. You must be willing to look inexperienced, make mistakes, and struggle through challenges. The people who grow are the people who try anyway. Failure is not the opposite of progress. In many cases, failure is part of progress. Every mistake teaches something valuable. Every setback builds resilience. Every challenge strengthens. Thens the mind. Winners learn from failure instead of using failure as an excuse to quit. There is also a major difference between being interested in success and being committed to success and being committed to success. Interested people make excuses when things become hard. Committed people find solutions. If someone is only interested in fitness, they work out when it feels convenient. If someone is committed to fitness, they train even when they feel tired. If someone is only interested in success, they quit when progress becomes slow. If someone is committed, they continue learning and improving no matter how long it takes. Commitment creates progress. One of the hardest truths to accept is that nobody is coming to save you. Nobody can do the work for you. Nobody can build your future except you. Winners accept responsibility for their lives, even when circumstances are difficult. That mindset creates freedom because responsibility gives you power. The moment you stop making excuses, you take control of your future again. Progress does not require perfection. It only requires persistence. You do not need to have everything figured out immediately. You just need to keep moving, keep learning, keep going, keep trying. Some days your progress will feel small. Some days you will feel discouraged. But consistency always matters more than speed. Slow progress is still progress is still progress. The people who eventually succeed are usually not the people with the easiest path. They are the people who stayed focused long enough to grow through the struggle. At the end of life, excuses will not matter. The only thing that will matter is whether you became the person you were capable of becoming, whether you kept growing when life challenged you, whether you kept moving when quitting felt easier. Winners focus on progress because they understand that every step forward matters. Every disciplined action matters. Every effort matters. Excuses may protect you from discomfort today, but progress creates the life you truly want tomorrow. And the moment you stop making excuses and start focusing on growth, your life begins to change. Before you close this video, understand this. Your life can completely change from this moment forward. Not because of luck, not because somebody finally believes in you, but because you decide to believe in yourself enough to keep going when things get hard. Most people watching motivational videos will feel inspired for a few minutes and they go right back to the same habits, the same excuses, and the same mindset. But you are standing at a decision point right now. You can either stay where you are or you can become the person you were meant to be. Nobody else can make that choice for you. The truth is, greatness is not reserved for a special group of people. Greatness belongs to the people who stay consistent, the people who keep showing up, the people who continue fighting even when nobody notices their effort. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You do not need to have all the answers right now. You just need to make one decision: refuse to quit on yourself. There will be pain. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you doubt yourself. But every challenge you survive is building strength inside you. Every difficult moment is preparing you for a greater version of yourself. Remember this, your future is being built by the choices you make every single day. The small habits, the small improvements, the discipline nobody sees. That is what creates extraordinary lives. 1 year from now, you can either look back with regret because you stayed the same, or you can look back with pride because you finally decided to change. And that change starts now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when life gets easier. Now, start becoming more disciplined. Start protecting your time. Start believing that your dreams are possible. Start acting like the person you want to become. Because deep inside, you already know you are capable of more. You were not created to live with fear, excuses, and wasted potential. You were created to grow, to rise, to fight for your purpose, and to become stronger through every obstacle life throws at you. So when this video ends, do not just feel motivated. Take action. Let this be the moment you stop doubting yourself. Let this be the moment you stop settling for average. Let this be the moment you develop the 1% mindset. A mindset that chooses growth over comfort, discipline over excuses, progress over fear. And if you keep improving even 1% every day, your future will become something people cannot ignore. The next chapter of your life is waiting for you. The stronger version of yourself is waiting for you. The success you dream about is waiting for you. Now go earn it.